and we're recording, and I want to welcome you all. Thanks, so many people on the call today. Love it. Welcome, everybody. I want to introduce you to my dear friend, Debra Atkinson. She is, God, there's so many things I could say about her, but she is the host of the Flippin 50 show, and you guys have to know about Flippin 50. So this is a woman, and you'll see why I love her so much. She does not accept that the minute you go 50 or older, your life is over. Look at her. She's all about staying fit, staying healthy, keeping your energy high vibration, and 50 is just, it's a number. That's all it is. And so I wanted to invite her here today. She's a mega author. She's written quite a few books. Let me give you the names of those books, because, you're going to want to, I can't minimize today either. Isn't that interesting? Well, okay, so I can't even find my notes unless I go over here, which I'm going to try and do. But she's written quite a few books that you're going to want to know about. And hang on. And she's today here with us because what we're going to do is we're going to stretch and move, because I don't know about you, I have been sitting a lot more than normal. I'm getting emails from people constantly today, all day long. The comments coming in, the emails coming in said, my neck, my God, my neck hurts, my back hurts, I am like stiff, I've been sitting typing, I'm getting digital dementia. It's, you know, with what's happening, and everybody, I commend you, because I know you're all adjusting and adapting. But what happens is we start changing our habits. And with all the drama that's been going on in the world, people are holding their breath, they're tightening up, they're stressed, they're worried about the future. And especially those of you in my community who started out with pain to begin with, the pain is often flared up, is what I'm hearing. So today, we're going to dump the stress. We're going to learn some incredible stretches that anyone can do from home. And Deb's going to lead the way with that. I'm going to share with you a full body relaxation technique that you can practice from home. We're going to talk about pain and the deeper issues of stress and pain, and how it's not just physical, and what to do when it shows up so that you just don't feel stuck and like, oh, it's just my age. No, no, no. We're throwing that out today, and we're leaving it in the trash. So, hi on Facebook. And thank you, Colin, my assistant's in Facebook, hopefully helping you. If you have any questions, he'll be in the chat with you there. Debra. All right, so I just want to know real quick and let everybody know, what made you discover that life wasn't over after 50? What happened that you shifted?
Well, you know, it was a kick, first of all. So I was raised by older parents and had older siblings. So I was old a long time ago.
Interesting.
And yeah, right. And I knew that as baby boomers aged, I had been working with them for a long time. I was always given, even as a student in college, I was given the older clients in our faculty and our exercise clinics because I was comfortable with them, and they were with me because I'd been around them for so long. So I was learning a lot before I realized this was ever going to be what I specialized in and started to do. And I thought I understood it all. And then at 49, I really made a pivot in my business, and I wanted to go digital. And like I so often do, is I jumped in with both feet, didn't look back till tomorrow, right? When I said, what did I just do? Yeah. And at 49, there's a lot of hormone changes going on under the hood, even when you're not feeling them. So I really lived through what happened. And calling and telling you you're not live on Facebook, but
it's so live to me. Tell him I had to do it on my other page. Tell him I'm on the business page.
Okay.
Wouldn't let me record where I planned. Sorry.
Okay, we're good. So I lived through all of those changes. I went through like 8 major stressors in about 14 months.
Wow.
And I began to do less and less exercise, but be very choosy about what it was. So it had to be effective.
Yeah.
And I realized that less exercise was actually the key to, I looked better after 14 months. I was leaner and stronger and felt healthier.
Did you guys hear that? Say that again, please.
Yeah.
Had to work out, sweating 2 hours a day, right?
Yep. So what I had been used to as teaching as a fitness instructor, teaching at a university and not just at a health club, but both that and exercising on my own. And I went from that to cold turkey, 20 minutes a day, because I was panicked. I was chained to my laptop thinking, this has to work. I don't have a net. There's no backup. I'm the backup.
Yeah.
And so 20 minutes a day, most days. Some of that, I've got a 12-and-a-half-year-old old English sheepdog. So believe me, we're smelling a lot of fire hydrants. We're not breaking any records. And I looked leaner and healthier, and I was stronger than before. And that, even to me, was, this is not what I had been taught decades ago. This is not what I had been teaching. So I dove into what's going on here and realized that it's really about less exercise, but making it more effective. And it's about just taking better care overall of all of those habits. And there has never been a better time for that to resonate with all of us.
Yeah.
Because right now, boosting our immune system is our highest priority. And that's exactly the same exercise prescription that we all need to abide by.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so before we dive in, because today, you guys, you want to stay on the call, we're going to actually do exercise, not just talk about it.
Yeah.
We're going to do it. And we got quite a lot of emails, and there was some concern about, well, what if I can't do it? What if I've been injured? What if I'm too old? I'm not athletic. What if I had a person email in saying, but I have to sit down. He's recovering from an accident and he can only sit. So will you talk about that to ease some of the concerns?
Absolutely. So really what I want to focus on with you today is focusing on the key points where we are most likely to store our stressors and where you're most likely experiencing that tension that is settling. So that psychological, emotional tension will settle into your physical body at some point. And we're going to talk about releasing that. And that's kind of what I'd call that's the prescription that's going to the doctor. But the better would be if I can help you, show you how to relieve it, but better yet, how to prevent it from happening again next time, or from being so intense or so frequent. So if we can decrease both of those, then you've got better coping skills and you've got better things to do with your time than to be tense. So we'll focus on those areas and primarily on stretching and how you can get rid of those things. And if you need to be sitting, you're going to love it. I'm going to show you a stretch where you actually can be sitting. And for some of the others, you can be sitting or standing, either way.
That's so great. So we got a lot of questions, and I want you to type your questions into the chat if you're here with us on Zoom as well. I'd love to pick your brain a little bit here, Deb, because, quite a few people also wrote in today that they have sciatica. They have sciatica pain, they have low back pain, they have neck and shoulders. Those seem to be the common themes. Is that what you're saying when you say that there are certain areas that it lodges? Because I know that I have my favorite parts that I've become aware over the years of where I put my tension. And I've noticed during the last week or two, especially, I've been at the computer a lot more, and I tend to, right here in my trapezius muscle, it's a golf ball in there, and I know how to get it out, and I know neck stretches and things to do. But why is it, in your experience, why is it that even happens to begin with?
That is a great question. Probably if you and I had the answer to that, we could be somewhere else sipping something out with a little umbrella in it. But what I do know is that the tendency tends to be that females do tend to store most of their tension upper back, shoulders, neck, and I could talk to you why. Men can also have the same postural issues that cause that, but they don't tend to hold it here. They tend to get their tension in the lower back. We all are probably equally prone to hip issues right now because we are sitting so very much more. And when you look at it just overall from 20 and 30 and 50 years ago,
Yeah.
we sit not just for work, but we sit for leisure. You know, we don't have to get up to change the channel even, right? So we're just sitting, and it may be silver lining. Here we are in COVID that you're hearing, go out and go for a walk. Some of you probably are moving more than you had been because you're hearing you need to do that. And you're trying to break out of the house. Okay.
We also had quite a few people talking about, from sitting there, noticing like they already had a curvature in their spine, and and I noticed this too, and then they're sitting more and they're feeling like they're just favoring one side, and so then when they go to stand up, they feel all out of whack and their pain flares up.
Yeah.
Did you talk about that?
Yeah, and I think we do the same thing. You know, I think you'll notice it dramatically if you, before COVID, many of us could notice that if we went for a long drive, right?
Yeah.
Because you're very asymmetrical as you're doing that. But we do tend to, we'll sit in the same way. And if you're one of those who crosses your leg one over the other, and then you're uncrossing and you're going the other way, you have a favorite. You know, it's kind of like if I said, do this, and then I said, okay, no, undo it and do it this way. This feels very weird, you know, so you're favoring which leg you cross over the top, and you're always doing that repeatedly for a long time. You are creating some muscle imbalance. So getting back to some even just yoga stretches, basic ones, and you don't have to be a Gumby, you know, to experience the benefits of yoga. Part of it is just your ability then to assess, oh, I'm favoring this in the way I'm sitting. So what I need to do is favor the other side in the way that I strengthen or stretch, so that I can bring myself back into alignment. Yoga is a wonderful way to just naturally kind of put yourself back in alignment without necessarily needing a massage or a chiropractor to do that.
I love that. I'll never forget, you're reminding me, I injured myself once, a year or so ago, and I went to Deb and said, hey, like I realized I need to strengthen my hips again and my legs and get everything back in alignment. And she said, pick up your knee, or she had me do an exercise, and right away she said, oh, I see which side you favor, because the leg you pick up first will tend to be, your standing leg will tend to be the one you feel most secure on, right?
Right.
I became very, very hyper aware after that of which side was stronger that I was favoring. And I started to purposely work out on the other side to strengthen it. And wow, what a difference. And I want to weave a bigger view in as well. Those of you that know me, like, I got to go to the esoteric. That's my thing. The side that you favor, you see, we're all, there's, I always say everything's energy. Well, the body, the left side of your body is your masculine energy side, and the right side is the feminine energy side. And you might want to just not out of judgment, but out of curiosity, notice which side you favor. Like, which leg would you stand up on first? Which arm, which hand do you use? This is an indicator of your natural energetic essence in most cases. And there's a tendency to favor that because it's your nature. You're stronger in maybe your feminine or your masculine. And even when we get injured, what's so fascinating is that you will most likely have a tendency to injure the weaker energetic side, or the injuries can reflect the issues with men or women in your life. So if you keep injuring, for example, the right side of your body, ask yourself, are there issues or is there pain with certain men in your life, or a man in your life, or your own masculine energy? Or it can sometimes represent your work, the masculine, the doing. And you will find, when I work with people, I find constantly the body is amazing. It's literally telling the story of our life. It's showing us where we are out of alignment, both literally and figuratively. And so it's this incredible wisdom. And so rather than think about, well, how do I get rid of this? How do I just get this pain gone? And we need to learn from it and learn to have the most intimate relationship with our body and our emotions and our mind and just our higher being. And so we're going to add all of that together today, and hopefully you'll get a grander view of how amazing you are. And the body, rather than hating it or wishing it were different or look different, it's there to really teach you a hell of a lot about what's going on and who you are.
Okay, so tell me this, and Margot's asking this too, so I may have gotten confused. Is the right side the masculine side or the left side?
The right side is your masculine energy, and that has to do with doing and giving and fixing things and solving problems and thinking, and very linear thinking. And then your left side is your feminine, flowy, creative, feeling, colorful, inner nature. And that's a whole different deal. So, but everybody has both. Everyone has both. It has nothing to do with your, sex organs you were born with. There are some women who are very, very masculine at their core. There are some men who are very, very feminine at their core. In general, most people in a feminine body, a female body, tend to have greater feminine energy, and most with a male body tend to have more masculine energy. But this stuff can get all messed up even in childhood based on our upbringing and the environment we were in. And like in my case, I grew up where I was basically taught your feminine side, that's a no-no. So you want to shut it down and bury it because it's dangerous. And it took me many, many years of work later in life to let her come out again and be free. And so, there's a lot, it's complicated. We're not going to go deep into that today. We can do that on another call. If you guys like that, let me know and we'll talk more about it. I want to take maybe one or two more questions and then let's get moving. And then we'll come back, take a few more questions, and then we'll do the meditation too. So Violet wrote in, thank you, Violet. What kinds of stretching and low impact exercise is best for chronic and extreme back pain?
Great question. So some real ease to it. So obviously you don't want to push if you have extreme back pain. So in some ways, doing some very isometric exercise. So almost isometric really implies not much movement at all, but a lot of bracing. So we can all do this together. So if you can be sitting or you can be standing, but you do want to sit up tall. I happen to be standing because I am like dealing with an emergency. So my air conditioning went out. So I'm in the coolest area of my house right now. Wow. I know. So you see me sweating. I'm not having a hot flash. I'm literally sweating. So fingertips on your rib cage and kind of almost on your pelvis. So you're feeling the spread of this. Yes, very good. And really just take your whole hand and put it on there. And what I want you to do is take a deep breath in. And then I want you to blow out, like you're pursing your lips, blow through a straw. And I want you to keep blowing all the way out. All the way out. So you almost would be coughing because you're getting it all the way out. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Blow it all the way out.
Oh.
Are you feeling that shrink? So you're really condensing and contracting those muscles. Take a deep breath in and I want you to expand it. Not raise your shoulders, but really expand down here. And exhale out. And as you do that exhalation, what you're doing is helping your diaphragm to help turn on what we call your TA, your transverse abdominis. And if you'll think about a belt, a wide belt that wraps around your belly line all the way front to back, your TA, transverse abdominis, is like your personal girdle. It's either on or it's not. Mm-hmm. So if I said, all right, I just want you to tighten that up. Don't push out, but don't suck your belly in. Actually, that weakens your core. Did you
Really?
know that?
Say that again. Oh my God, seriously?
Yeah, so we've been hearing that. I've been, right, saying that for decades until the last one where I have not.
Yeah.
But when you pull your belly in toward your spine, you weaken your abdominals. But if you brace yourself, and here's a way to brace. So if you happen to have a wall close by, or I've got a chest right here. If you take your foot against it and you press against it,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't fall over, your
Yeah.
core braces.
Push the side of your foot against it, against.
Yep, as if you were going to push away.
Yep.
But if you don't move, it's because you're bracing your core. You can breathe, talk to me, just count 1, 2, 3, 4 if you're at home. So don't confuse your lungs with your core, but that kind of bracing activity strengthens your core, and that's what your core does. So all day, every day, truly, your core braces or stabilizes while you're moving your limbs. So you're picking up something with a long limb out here away from you, or you're holding a baby. Imagine that.
Yeah.
You have to brace in order to do that.
Right, but
right?
you're saying don't just pull in and grip your
Right.
belly button area.
Right.
Oh, interesting. This is so not
Right.
what's taught out there.
That's true. So some of us think, how can I do strengthening for my core when I have back pain?
Right.
You actually, the things you can't do because you have back pain, you don't want to be doing. So it's actually Mother Nature, I think, protecting you.
Let me ask you something. When I press my outer foot against the surface of the wall, or doing it against the chair, I
Yep.
feel my outer hips
Yes.
stronger, as if
Yes.
that's what we want to feel, right?
You're going to feel that. Yep. Both of them on both sides, because the one you're standing on is strengthening. The one pushing is also stronger. And if we really think of this collectively, your core is from your knees to your shoulders.
Interesting.
We move it all together, not only doing crunches or sit-ups, right? Which we don't want to do anyway. So doing that kind of exercise where you're really focusing on bracing is much more effective, much more.
Let me ask you this. In yoga, they often teach you to put a block between your upper thighs and squeeze in. Is that the similar motion that would strengthen that whole outer hip area and core area?
So that's going to strengthen your inner thigh area, right? Because you're squeezing in, but absolutely
activating that outer area at the same time.
Well, you're not activating it quite so much, because unless you're pushing out away from something, we're not using those outer thigh muscles, we're using the inner thigh muscles.
Okay, so that's
for those of us who are tight, and so many of us are, because of all that sitting, and or if you don't sit at work, my guess is you probably stand or walk a lot at work. We do either one or the other. You still want a balance in the front or the back. So squeezing that yoga block between your knees, one of the benefits of that is when you squeeze in, after you do a contraction, what happens? You relax. And so if you were then to let your knees fall out to the side, you will get a better stretch for your hips, and you're able to open them up. So if we just said, let's flop your legs out to the side and stay there and relax, you'd get an okay stretch. But if you first did the squeeze of the knees together with that yoga block and then allowed yourself to fall out, you're going to release further.
Wow.
Yeah.
Increases the range of motion. Fascinating.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. Wow. See, that's not what I've heard, but I love it. Here's a question for you specifically. So someone wrote in that with aging, they've noticed structural mobility and pain. Is this normal with aging? Really? Does it have to come with aging?
Let's use that word carefully. So common, yes. Normal, no. Okay? So we've got to change our language around it. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of people around you. And I think until now, we have to say and follow sentences with until now, because our parents and our grandparents, they aged differently than hopefully we're willing to and wanting to or going to settle for.
Yes.
So if we change what we do, we don't follow that path, we don't have to go down that path, right? So it is true that we've got to pay a little more attention to it.
Yeah.
What we took for granted 10 and 20 years ago is not as easy. We have to nurture what we want and nurture movement. So the best time to plant a tree, right, is 20 years ago. The next best time is to start today. So if you're here and you feel like you've lost some mobility, there is nothing ever in any literature that says you can't improve from where you are, whether you're 60, 70, 80, 90, 40, doesn't matter if you've got pain or not, we can improve it. And by and large, the best thing for almost anybody who is in pain is movement.
Yeah, say that again, because I think people I know that I speak to all the time, they get, once they're injured or they have something that's not functioning properly in their body, they start to really hold back and they're afraid to move. They think they're going to injure themselves further. And then you get all the complications of the non-movement. And that's worse than oftentimes moving.
So true. And first of all, if that's you, don't feel guilty about it. It's natural because since we were born, we've learned to respond and be conditioned to avoid pain.
Exactly.
So when you've got pain, it is natural to pull back. However, generally speaking, we also have overfiring pain messengers coming out at us that may be overdoing their job, right? They've just gotten too good at it.
Yep.
So even if you're in pain, the most common that I can talk about is, I've worked with a number of patients in pain, much of them from post-surgery, post-knee surgery, post-hip surgery, post-back surgery, or prior to it, right? So either one of pre or post rehab. Mm-hmm. And it's knowing how far to go. So working through the pain, not necessarily stopping when you feel it, in order that you can then tomorrow do slightly more.
I love that. Even growing up in yoga and becoming a yoga teacher, there was my favorite teacher used to say, practice yoga today with as much energy that enables you to come back tomorrow and practice again, not overdoing it. We have this overexertion idea in our culture that pound it to the metal, pedal to the metal, right? But that's harmful.
Yes. So harmful. We want to, when you're doing a stretch normally, so if you're doing a stretch, and so if you do one with me right now, just those of you that can, take your arm across your body to the point where you're going to feel the stretch through your shoulder and potentially your tricep, your arm, and you're holding that in. So what we're doing is you have to go to the point where you feel the stretch. Mm-hmm. I want you to keep going, and you go about 10 degrees beyond where that initial place was. Mm-hmm. And that's a good rule of thumb. That's a safe place to be. And by the time we hold it, and the key is this, let's take a deep breath, everybody. And then exhale. And when you exhale, let your shoulders go. Keep holding the stretch. Did it get easier? Is it easier than when you first started? So even that exhalation stimulates, messages your brain to message your muscles that your parasympathetic nervous system takes over. When this relaxes. And did you feel the difference, right? Just the exhalation helped. Holding the stretch, 15 to 30 seconds helps. But if you're holding the stretch and holding your breath, you won't experience the same release as if you exhale and then release, right? Okay, so stay here a second. I want you to try this and just kind of feel where that is and feel the tension. And there may not be a lot. You can bring that arm in. But I want you to let go of the stretch, let it come away from your body again a little bit. And now we're going to do an isometric stretch again. So I want you to push your elbow against your arm, pull in, just hold it. Stop holding your breath. Are you holding your breath? Count for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Relax. Now bring that arm against you again and hold it. And you may feel like it's relaxed now, and you can go further with more ease.
Way further. Way further.
Yeah. So that relaxation response, that's called that PNF. It's a peripheral neural response, and I can't tell you what it is right now because my air conditioning is not working. My brain is fried. But it's PNF, and that means really what you want to do is alternate, just bringing it in, contract, release, and hold again. And you could repeat that, contract and release and hold again. And that increases and enhances your mobility. Not pain, or not with pain. So we're not trying to push beyond pain and get you to a point you shouldn't be at. We're just trying to enhance the natural relaxation response. Because otherwise the body has a tendency, if you're gonna push, it's gonna go like this, right? Those golden tendon responses go, no, no, no. Yeah.
Back to the energy. For every force, there's an equal and opposite. There's a pushback. So if you push too hard, it'll be counterproductive. Let me ask you though, what if you're sitting? What else can you show us if you really can't stand and sit, and other things like this, that if you just can't take a break, you know?
Okay, so can I spin you around? So all of you, close your eyes if you get dizzy on rise. So I'm going to take you into the other room so that I can sit with you. Okay. Anybody dizzy? No, we're good? Okay. So I'm going to sit in here and see if I can bring you down so you can actually see what I'm doing. So I love to do this stretch standing, also lying on the floor, but you can do it sitting. So if you're sitting at a desk all day, so this, want to cross one leg over the other, right? Not in the way we normally do. This one gets us into trouble, right? But I want to bring it over so that my ankle is all the way past this leg, okay? I'm going to tip my screen down just a little bit more. So you don't see my head. That's okay. It's not all that exciting. My hair's not all that great today. Okay, here we go. So I'm crossing this over, and I want to press that knee away from me. Not with my hands, but I want to actively press that knee down. So I can have my leg here, but I'm not really getting the stretch until I activate the knee pressing down. So you're feeling a stretch? Yes?
Totally.
Okay. So now, while I'm here, I'm going to sit as upright as I can, and then I'm going to hinge forward. So I'm reaching forward from my hip with a flat back, coming far forward as I can, but I'm stopping wherever that is for me. So it's not about how far down you can get. It's just about coming forward, lengthening to the front, and we're getting rid of some of that tension we store in our hips from sitting, from exercising, from standing, from walking.
Yeah.
We store a lot of stress and tension in our hips.
It feels so amazing, Deb. Honest to God, that feels like exactly what I needed.
Yes.
Wow.
So what I want you to do is now, here's a great way to compare yourselves. Let's do the other side.
Right, and I have a question for you. Trish is in the chat saying, I cannot cross my legs or knees at all. How else could I do that stretch? Because I don't think that's possible.
Trish, can you say more? Can you say more about why you can't? Because I may be able to help, but let me give you this one, Trish. Debra, you modeled the second side for us, okay? But Trish, I'm wondering if you can do this. So you can place your knee up on a chair or a bench and then lean into it. So you're still able to stand. This is a higher chair. It's not necessarily a bar stool height, but it's not down low. So that's probably helping me a little bit. If you have a bench or a coffee table that's got a little elevation, that's probably helpful.
She said, great, I'm going to try that. I think you solved it. That's awesome. Yeah.
Good.
I feel It's funny. I will do that sometimes where I will put my leg up like on the sink even and just bend it like that. It feels so good, that whole outer hip area. Wow.
So here's the secret with that. So here's what we're doing. When we release the hips, the junk in the trunk, right? What we're doing is releasing the pull on the lower back.
Oh.
So if you think about from the floor up, every joint should either be mobile or stable. And it goes every other one.
Oh.
And if you're not, you're going to beg, borrow, and steal from the joint above or below.
Oh, wow. So, that's profound. Say that
for
again.
many of us with lower back issues, our problem is hips or upper back.
Not the actual area where the pain is. This is why so many people tell me they have knee pain, but it's actually their hips that are the problem. Like, I see what you're saying. It's above or below. It's every other one. Oh, wow.
That's so true. And the same is true as, you know, I know we're talking a little bit about age. So there is one age thing we all can't defy. And that is that the ankles are a joint that with age, we're all probably going to experience some lesser mobility.
Interesting. And why is that though? Why?
Well, because we've been pounding on them for decades, right? Walking on them, wearing cute shoes, that'll get you every time. Wearing flip-flops, not so cute, you know, and all of those little ankle twists that we've had through the years, there's a cumulative effect. And think of it, when you've ever thought about exercise prior to this point in your life, most of us did not key in on, could you give me something for my lower leg and my ankle?
Yeah, right.
Right? So work on that with mobility, pointing, flexing, circling, circling around, trying to turn the soles of your feet in, trying to turn the soles of your feet out. Mobility for your ankles will be one of the best things you can do. So I don't know about you, but you know, I can see it in my mom, right? We call it the shuffle. Suddenly we're not doing this anymore. We're doing it this wide, right? And it's here. And it's because we want to have a foot in contact with the floor, but it's also because we don't have the ability to pull that toe up anymore.
Wow. Okay, wow. All right, I'm loving this. Let's do a few standing stretches. What do you feel are the top stretches everyone should be doing, especially now with what's going on? And I'm going to move over here and stand up as well and take my camera with me.
Okay. So mobility-wise, so what I'd love for you to do is focus on, we want to get some length, right? So we want to have length through the spine, and we want to have lateral flexion through the spine. We don't think about that very often. So the challenge with thinking about that, and I'm sorry about my lighting situation here, everybody. My air conditioning just went out, so it's like I'm trying to figure out where I can be in the house. But
I got the same.
when we think about the core and the spine, we usually think about, okay, sit up straight, right? So we've got this. We know we need this, but we also need to almost open up this way, right? So we need to actually drop back. So I'm going to show you from the side. I'm using my pelvis to press forward, to brace. What we demonstrated earlier, we're getting that core nice and taut, and we want to open the sternum. I want you to imagine there's a string right here lifting you up, and your neck and head are lengthened and then back. You should be able to talk to me, and you should be able to breathe, not restricted, and open the shoulders and lift up. Tuck that tailbone underneath you and forward, so you're bracing through the core, not feeling anything negative through the lower back. Very passive stretch, but then come back up. Good. And we don't need to fold forward, but I'd like you to come down and just put your hands on your knees. And I'm going to pull this down a little bit. So I want you, with your hands on your knees, this is cat paddle back. This is a yoga stretch. So we're going to roll and round through the back. And then we're gonna tip that tailbone up and bring your chest forward. So it's a round and roll. Tuck your tailbone under, roll through the chest. You wanna create a C with your spine right now. So really rolling the hip, bringing the chest and shoulders forward, and then come back in the opposite direction. Tailbone up, chest forward, inhale, and then exhale, roll up in this direction. So we've got lateral flexion here and forward flexion. We need to do that lateral flexion. So take your hands up over your head. And I'm gonna have to back up a little further to give you a full view here. But I want you to take those hands up and lengthen one arm up and over your head. And I want you to pull on that wrist. So I have a hold of my right arm with my left wrist, and I'm gonna push my right foot into the floor. So my right fingertips to my right heel are super long, and then I'm gonna lay my head on my left arm, and I'm gonna carry my head over to the side. And when I do that, my hips are gonna flare off to the right. So I'm still feeling very balanced. And if this feels like you're vulnerable, don't go quite so far. Just hold here where you can still breathe. So go ahead and talk. If you're all by yourself, go ahead and talk out loud. Can you do that? I want you to take one more stretch. So pull with your left arm on that right wrist, push your right heel into the floor, and then exhale, go a little bit deeper.
That feels
lateral flexion. Yeah, really opening up your ribs and hips.
Boy, did I need this today.
And then inhale, come back up. Good, now switch. So you're gonna take a hold of my left wrist with my right hand. I'm gonna reach up, go nice and tall, send that same heel, throw your left heel down into the floor, carry your head over. So nothing through the neck, you're not doing any work up there. But remember that first one is just gentle, just find out where can I go, where I'm comfortable still. Breathing easy. Now take a long stretch again. So we always go first for the length. Stretch through the hand, through the heel. You're opening up right between your hip and your rib cage, getting some length. And exhale, go a little bit deeper, go a little bit lower, and breathe. Still breathing.
Amazing.
Still open. Exhaling into it.
Yeah.
And then inhale, coming back. And drop your hands down. Good, and release your shoulders. Okay.
Everybody feeling that?
Remember this one. You're going to remember this one from the weekend. So one of our cohorts did this weekend. But for those of you that feel like there are a lot of things that maybe you cannot do with your lower body, this one works for almost all of us. If you've had hip replacements, you've got some hip issues, sciatica even, you may be able to do this one. We're going to do some leg swings.
Oh, I loved this. Yes.
Yeah, this is one I use for runners, for athletes, for people who feel like I've got knee issues and I can't do a proper warm-up. Yeah. You can, all right? So we're gonna walk through this. You're gonna do about 5 on each leg, so you'll know it. I'm gonna tip this down so you can see my legs. Mm-hmm. You're gonna wanna be in a position where you've got the back of a chair or a wall. Try not to kick the dog or furniture, okay? We're gonna first take your leg and swing it across you. So this leg is just coming out and cross and out and across. More like a pendulum than anything else. Just let it swing and play. Back and forth. Good? All right, not many. Now I'm gonna just turn, for me anyway, so I don't run into something. And we're gonna go forward and back the same way. And just really about 5 of them. You can let your midsection go. Don't have to hold on to it. Just release back and forth.
Oh, good.
Good. Now you're going to keep going, but I want you to just cut that off. So you're rolling from the knee. So just knee up, and I know this feels very similar, but we're lubricating the joint in that ball and socket joint slightly differently by doing half that leg. Now I want you to imagine your running track over the hurdle and draw a circle 5 times. Forward, 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 and reverse 5 times. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then shake that out. And we've got to keep it even on the other side, okay? So across the body, you're going to swing this leg back and forth about 5 times. We'll give you a few more here. Just over and back. And you want this to feel like you're playing. Don't force it, don't kick it higher, just let it go. And then front and back, same leg, forward and back. And you let that core go. So you may have some movement in the upper body. Just play, let it go.
Feels amazing.
Same movement, but half the lever, so just from the knee. And that changes where we're lubricating the hip.
Huh. I feel that more. Why do I feel it more with the knee bent?
Yeah, because you're probably getting into an area of the hip you need it more.
Yeah, the hip flexor in front, I feel it.
Yeah.
Woo.
Now over, you're gonna hurdle forward. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then reverse directions. Try and hurdle back. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And relax.
Woo.
Good, and shake that out, and that's it. Good, and I'm gonna do, if you give me the time, Deborah, I'd love to do one for the upper back and shoulders. Yes? Okay.
I need that so bad.
So any of you who want to do this standing, you can. If you'd rather do this lying, you can do that. So I'm going to do twofold. One, ladies, this is especially for you. Gentlemen here, or you love, you can share this, but we tend to carry the weight of the world. We always have, right? And especially now that we're more on the phone, we're more on our computers, you'll find it's much more key. So first, we've got to release it. So what I want you to do is try to drop your shoulders down. But I also want you to take your ear toward your shoulder on one side. And just don't overdo it, but lengthen down. And then I want you to take your hand up on the side of your head. Gently encourage. Don't pull, but just encourage. Remember that rule we talked about 10% beyond where you feel it is perfect.
Man, that's where
Yeah. Good. And now what I want you to do is to look down that same thigh. So now it's chin to your chest. Take your hand in the back of your head, gently encourage it down.
you're finding all my spots.
Yeah, this one for sure, right?
Yeah, I feel that all the way down into my fingers. Boy. You guys feeling this? Oh my goodness.
And then let go of that tension. Let's bring that one back up.
Woo.
We'll take it to the other side. So keep the neck nice and long. Take it over to the side. And then let's bring that arm up. And remember, you're just gently encouraging, not pulling, just encouraging. And you can also think about this shoulder, reach down as if you're reaching for your suitcase. And exhale. So it's that sympathetic nervous system. Send the message. You can relax. Release that tension. And then look right down that thigh, chin to your chest, and hand behind your head. Encourage that forward.
Oh boy. Doctors in the house. Oh my God, that feels so amazing. Wow. Thank you to my computer.
And then relax. Okay, so what we've done just there is relax the muscles in your neck and your upper back and shoulders, but that's a part of the problem. Here's why this happens so easily. And I don't do this very often, but I'm gonna take this off. So what I'm gonna do is also turn my back on you, and I don't do that very often, but what I want you to see is shoulder blades here. So I can really kind of wing my shoulder blades out to the side. Can you see this? So this winging,
Yeah.
Some of us have that naturally, right?
Mine went.
They don't lay flat, which is what we really like, and they don't come in as close or down as we'd like them to from the spine. So those weak muscles between your shoulder blades and your spine, they're on vacation in Tahiti without you. All right, we need to wake them back up. So little ways that you can do that is by thinking, I'm going to pull it in and relax, pull it in and relax. So this is like a very small workout you can do without breathing hard. Okay, so you're thinking about squeezing and releasing, squeezing and releasing, squeezing and releasing, squeezing and releasing, and squeezing and releasing, squeezing and releasing. And what I want you to do, keep checking in up here for me. Make sure you're not lighting that up. So those muscles we just released, we need them down. We want them to stay off.
So what if you feel that in your neck when you're doing that?
Then I want you to kind of regroup, stop for a second, and see if you can drop them back down. Think about reaching your fingers to the floor and try it again. So it stays down, and when you reach that point of fatigue in these muscles, this will fire up. So you're just feeling that what happens all day, every day is happening right now. So you're not able to trigger the right muscles to stay back, keep your chest open. And so what happens is these over tense ones fire up all the time. Wow. So we need to kind of call back, because these have ADD, and it's not going to take one time. It's going to take probably 1 or 2 times every day to wake them up. And even what we've done right now, maybe a dozen or 15 times of pulling that together, some of you may feel that tomorrow because they're so lazy and underused. But that is an excellent activity for you to do. For those of you that feel like, I'll do this better if I have a target, you can position yourself against a wall and just get back here and release. So you can reach your arms away and draw your shoulder blades back together. Pull them back together. So you can feel something and see something moving as you draw that in and back. So those the right muscles have to have the strength to be there to prevent this from overdoing a job it shouldn't do anyway.
It's so powerful. You can do that at your desk sitting every day.
Absolutely.
You know?
A little screen reminder, every so often would be super valuable. Yeah.
And in yoga, I've had a lot of students injure their shoulders, and it's usually this very thing. The shoulder's not back connected to those back muscles, and it's always tipped forward, and there's nothing to protect it in the front, right? So easily to get injured doing all those chaturanga push-ups, and this is really in the back where we need to be strong.
Yes, so much so, because life is out here. We're always out here. And I'm always, a fan of, for any of you who are strength training, and when you're extremely busy, I always say leave your push-ups and leave your chest press to last, because if you never get to it, it will be okay. We don't need that as much as we need to stretch and open it, and we need to strengthen the back muscles. Yeah.
God, see, you're teaching the exact opposite of what mostly what you would hear out there in the fitness world. So this is brilliant. I love it. All right, one more, and then we'll take another question or two, and then we'll do the meditation. What else is like top of the list in your mind?
Top of the list. Let's come down to really focusing on the ankles. Okay. And let's do it standing for those of you that can. So you can do a number of things, but we want to, and I do this every day at the beginning of yoga recently, right? So I want you to actually roll through your feet. So a little difficult. Let me put this down.
Yeah.
You're probably going to see more dog hair than feet, but we'll see. So are you seeing my feet? I think you are. Okay. So I want you to roll just forward and back. So you're literally
love it. Yeah. Okay. Huh.
exaggerate.
Exaggerate, like go way forward, like you feel like you're going to fall back.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Great. Wow. Huh.
And then I'm going to have you stand here, stay where you're at.
Yeah.
And one of the drills that you can do at home is camel crunches.
Oh my God. That's brilliant.
Weight training for your feet.
That is brilliant.
And there's one repetition, right? And then you're going to do it again.
Wow. And get all those toes and metatarsals moving. Wow.
That is right. Yes.
Wow. So good.
So.
What about swollen ankles? A lot of complaints about that. What is that and what do we do?
Well, you've got a little edema, most likely. So number one, we need to get you moving as much as possible and regularly stretching. So we often will hear of people who fly, that's a sign to look for, is you need to get up more, you need to move more because you're sitting there and you've got additional pressure. So with that edema, that's a suggestion that your circulation isn't as good. Movement is the answer to that. So if it's not weight-bearing movement, get up and lie down on the floor. But you can also do a...
Oh, you just froze up. Hang on. Is that me or you? I bet that's me. Hang on. If you guys can hear me, I moved my computer.
We talked about drawing a circle, imagining that your big toe is a crayon. Mm-hmm. Draw as wide a circle as you can, and then reverse that circle in the opposite direction. Turn your soles of your feet inward, turn the sole of your foot outward, and do that again. So we're the weakest going this direction, and that is actually the direction we most need to go so that we're less likely to roll that ankle, because if you've sprained an ankle, you've probably gone this direction, right? So working on this and working on that flexibility and mobility is super important. You can also, I don't happen to have a band, but if you have a belt or an elastic band of any kind, if you have that and you work against resistance so that you push against it, strengthen that foot, push against it, and push against it. So even with my shirt rolled up here, I'm getting some passive movement. And just like any other body part that you're exercising, I just put a lot of blood flow into that limb. And when you've got blood flow coming in, you're going to help distribute some of that circulation. So you're retaining less water.
Wow, amazing. This has been so great. Let me just look at one more question, and then we'll do the meditation. So this is an important one. Diana wrote in that her whole skeletal system twists and pulls her out of alignment. She had hip surgery and now has pain afterwards. And I work with a lot of people who have had surgery gone bad.
Yeah.
They came out worse after surgery than before. Now, a couple things that I know happen are there's a cellular memory. And emotions are going on even if you're under anesthesia. You may not be consciously aware of it, but you're hearing everything on some level, you're feeling everything, the body's holding on to the fear, but a lot of things happening. And so it's very important, if you have surgery, in my opinion, and I'm not giving medical advice, by the way, but in my experience, if you've had surgery and you came out and either something new is occurring and you're worse, or you're just not getting your energy back, or you're not getting a mobility back, we need to help you with your energy field, because there's more than likely an emotional component, an energetic component that you can clear that they're never going to find on a medical test. They will test you till you're blue in the face and say, well, there's nothing showing up on the test and there's nothing wrong. but you're clearly having symptoms. This is typically what I have found with a lot of people. There's an emotional charge, emotional trauma, so to speak. There's a cellular memory, and you can release that really rapidly using the energy healing method that I practice. So don't think that you have to live with that forever. Think outside the box. But also, as everything you've shared with us today, Deb, you're in a hospital bed, you're lying there probably longer than normal, you're sedated maybe, you have to recover. So they're lying down, they're sitting down. There's nothing moving, not as good circulation. What happens in this system, in this case, when she feels her whole system out of whack now after surgery? What would you recommend for the body, to support the body?
Yeah, and one of the things that I would look at is, a little less likely, but maybe not. I mean, you've got to, when you have that replacement, whether it was a partial or a full, different things happened, but different parts went in that may not have matched the exact measurements of your own. So is there a slight leg length discrepancy now?
Yeah, wow.
Is there something that truly is pulling you off of alignment? Sometimes, obviously you don't probably want them to go back in and change that, but could a lift in your shoe potentially help you when you're mobile and around? And I think that sometimes practicing some things like Pilates, where you're doing things on the floor, whether yourself in mat work or you're using an apparatus, a reformer, under some guidance, may help you put back into alignment some of the small things that, your hip underwent a lot of trauma. It really did. And some of those things may be slower to come back, even if it's been some months. So I would look at both of those things.
I want to just, to your point about Pilates, when you use a Pilates reformer, it forces you to use both sides of your body, and you'll quickly discover where your imbalances are, because you find one leg, one foot pushing harder than the other, and it's really quite an awareness tool to, and especially if you use it with somebody who's watching you as well and can help guide you. Man, 10 Pilates classes will change your body and your life, no question.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Completely agree.
Out of jail, go to Pilates. I want to check. Thank you, all you guys on Facebook. You've been so fabulous, and I know I was sideways. On Facebook. They can't see Deb. It's very challenging today. I couldn't, for some reason, Zoom would not go live to Facebook. So I thought, what the heck? I'm going to do it anyway. And you can hear us both, I hope. And so thank you for your patience. And thanks for hanging out. And I'll be sending everybody the replay. If you registered, which you all did, tomorrow I will send the replay recording with the video, and you'll see both Deb and myself, so you won't miss a thing. You're welcome. We've got a lot of Debras here today. We've got
Debra, right?
Thank you. And it was really helpful. I'm so glad. Yeah, she's the best. Debra Atkinson, Flippin 50. Hey, before I forget, you have a link, a special gift for everybody.
Yes.
I've got the link right here.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Okay, let me tell you guys, she's got something for you. It is a free gift. And wait, what did I do with it? Hang on. Where did it go? Oh, I'm in the wrong place. That's where. It is. You want to go to
You're welcome, Gina.
www.flipping50. That's FLIPPING. I'm going to put this in the chat as well, or Colin can type it in too. Flipping50, FIFTY.com / the number 8 habits, HABITS / Debora W, DEBORAW. I'll say that again, www.flipping50.com / the number 8 habits / Debora with no H, DEBORAW. And Colin and I we'll post this afterwards, and we'll send it. Queen Elizabeth thanks you. You're welcome, Beth. Thanks for being here. Well, I'll post it. Nina will tomorrow in the replay, in the email. It will be in there as well. And you want to get her gift. This I'm telling you, she's like, this is the guru right here, and all heart and soul, and really knows her stuff. We geek out on all kinds of things like this, and this is just a taste, a smidgen of what we could probably talk for days. She's so brilliant. So grab her, get her, listen to her. She's got amazing videos and programs, and you want to check her out, especially if you're, sometimes what I find is that people they think they're going to work on their pain by thinking and by emotions. And I do teach that. I believe your body, your pain in your body is absolutely 100% connected to your thinking and your emotions. But guess what? You've still got to deal with your body and support your body and get to know your body so well that you can help yourself, support yourself, and go back into alignment. You can't just think and emote an energy field even. You've got to work on the body too. We've been given this amazing gift. It's like having a car and saying, well, I put oil in it once. I put gas in it once. Ain't gonna work eventually. So it's thinking, it's emotions, it's energy field, and it's the body. So I find so many people in chronic pain, when I ask them, what kind of relationship do you have with your physical body? Like, how do you take care of it? And often what I hear, well, I don't really move that much. I don't exercise that much. I don't like it. And so what they've done is they've neglected taking care of the body. And Patty's saying late to the party. That's okay. Better late than never. So she's the guru for the body. Now, what I want to do though next, unless Deb, do you anything I've left out or you've left out that I haven't asked you that's super important that you want to share with people?
No, I would like to add just one thing. So I know, a lot of people here are potentially dealing with pain, and that's what you're helping them focus on. But I'd just like to plant the seed that, right now exercising may not be comfortable because that's what you're focusing on, is working away from pain and dealing with the pain. But I just would like to invite everybody to open up the door for experiencing joy in their body. So thinking about their body as a place that will provide them with joy. And if you can get to thinking about that as opposed to, you may be in this moment, but if you can vision something else.
Love it. Yeah. I love that. Again, there's so much power, and Einstein taught us the mind does not know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. Now, in this moment, you may be experiencing something very uncomfortable. Guess what? If that's all you're imagining in the future, you're going to get more of what you're imagining. So I love what you just shared, because if you start pretending, okay, I'm talking, make it up, people, just like a kid. Let's pretend.
Yeah.
You're going to use your mind in the correct way that will actually send the message to your body to follow that direction in a positive instead of more of the same. This is so powerful and really will demonstrate the power of thought, which is a force as real as electricity. Love that. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you. All right, so I'm seeing the time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to guide you through what I call a progressive relaxation. And it is a way that you can learn to practice on your own, especially if you have trouble sleeping, you feel really tense, you're worried, you're anxious, you're thinking about the future, you can't control things or people, and you just know your nervous system, you need to slow it down, calm it down. And you can do this lying down. You can do it before you go to sleep at night. You can do it anytime though. You can do it anytime you're stressed out, anxious, anything that's undesirable in your body, mind, and spirit, you do this. And what I want to say though is you would only do this if you're in a safe space. You would never do it while you're driving. And when you get really good at this, there's a cumulative effect and you'll be able to do it much quicker. And there's a memory that your body will have. So you'll achieve the results faster. But this can put you in bliss state. So no driving, no chopping celery, sitting down or lying down, find a comfortable place right now. And I'm going to guide you through. All right. Are we ready? Let me check the chat really quick. All right. Close your beautiful eyes and take the deepest breath you've taken all day so far and just let out that big, beautiful sigh out of your mouth. And again, relax your low belly muscles and breathe in and let those ribs expand. And then open your mouth and just let out a sigh. And as you continue to breathe, just at a normal, comfortable, easy, effortless pace, I want you to remember there's nothing for you to do here. I want you to just follow along to the sound of my voice and feel how with every exhale your body relaxes more and more, deeper and deeper. It's very easy and effortless. And just listen to my voice, and I'm going to ask you to use your imagination. You can't do it wrong, so relax your mind. I'd like you to take your attention now to the top of your head and just focus on the top of your head and relax the muscles in the top of your head. Feel that feeling of relaxation moving down the sides to the temples on the sides of your forehead. And feel your temples relax now. Imagine the muscles all across the front of your forehead, softening, relaxing, and letting go now. Feel all the teeny tiny muscles around your eyes relax now. And feel your eyeballs just getting heavy and relaxed, very, very loose and relaxed. Feel the muscles along your cheeks getting heavy and loose and limp. Very, very relaxed. Feel your jaw relaxing now, melting like butter. Just allow your jaw to get heavy and relaxed. Relax your lips and the tongue inside your mouth. Let all of your face go. Feel the muscles along your neck, the front and the sides and the back of your neck completely relaxed now, getting very loose and relaxed and limp. Feel that relaxation just flow down your shoulders, down your upper arms, swimming across your elbows. Feel the relaxation just flowing through your lower arms and flowing through your wrists and into your hands and into your fingers, and that relaxation just pouring out your fingertips and every muscle completely relaxed and letting go now. like a hot summer day. Butter melting, your whole body melting down into the cushions beneath you. Feel that relaxation melting along your chest, all through your upper back. The relaxation flowing down into your middle back, flowing through your solar plexus. Feel all the muscles in your ribs and your solar plexus letting go. Feel your stomach relax and all the muscles and the organs inside getting a much needed break. Let everything in your belly be heavy and loose and limp. Feel your hips relax now and sink down into the cushions. Imagine that relaxation flowing through your thighs now. And feel all the muscles in your thighs getting heavier, loose, very, very relaxed. Feel your knees relax now. Feel the relaxation like massaging oil just flowing down your shins and calves. Your legs getting so completely relaxed. Feel this flowing into your ankles now. And just let every muscle go in your ankles. Feel the tops of your feet so relaxed and loose. Notice your heels relaxing and the soles of your feet completely relaxing, as if you could breathe up through the soles of your feet. And feel your toes letting go now. So from the top of your head to the very tips of your toes, imagine water flowing through you with ease, effortless ease. Your body just completely relaxed. As you scan your body, if you notice any place where you're still holding tight, I want you to breathe into that area and silently to yourself say the word, soften, soften, soften. Allow the cushions underneath you to support you. Let every muscle go. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. Allow yourself to feel that joy, the ease and the comfort and the deep rest that you so deserve. Everything on your list will wait. Right now, this is 100% you time. Breathe it in now. And silently to yourself, say, I deserve to relax. I am open to relaxing. It's possible for me to be deeply, deeply relaxed right now, beginning right now. And just breathe it in and breathe out. And allow this feeling to fill you up and recharge your batteries. And now I'd like you to press your thumb and your index finger together tightly. And anytime you want to return to this feeling, all you need to do is press your thumb and your index finger together, and you'll instantly recall this deeply relaxed place right away. Turn your palms up in a gesture of being open. Take a breath in through your nose, in through your heart. Open your mouth, let out a sigh. Breathe in again through your heart area and let out a sigh. And begin to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Feel yourself becoming more alert, more awake. And I want you to take your arms overhead, take a deep breath in and stretch your arms overhead and come all the way back now, wide awake, alert, refreshed and relaxed. New body, new mind, new spirit.
So good.
Woo! All right, so you guys have been amazing. I'm going to put the free gift in, Deborah's free gift in the chat in a moment. I'm going to email it to you tomorrow. I also have a gift for you, and I'll put that in the chat and in the email. I am so grateful for all your questions. You guys have stayed with us and just participated, and even the people on Facebook who can't see Deb, I'm going to do something here. See if I can turn the camera to Deb on the camera itself and on the laptop. You'll get the replay tomorrow, though. She's worth looking at. Just and I cannot thank you, my friend, so much. The great one and only Debra Atkinson. Thank you for being here today. You're
welcome. Thank you for having me. Thanks everybody for showing up. So glad you're here.
Yeah. So you guys, it takes action. It's as simple as that. Just do it. Just do it. Just rinse and repeat. Do it again. These are stretches she taught today that everyone can do. I'm going to be doing it. So let us know how you do with it. If you have any questions, just post them in Facebook, send them back via email, and we're here for you. We're here to help you, and we love you, and we care about you, and thank you so much for showing up and having fun. Come back next Wednesday. Make sure you share with your friends and family. Every week is a new topic, and come back soon. Love you, everybody. Bye. All right, let's see. I am going to end